Welcome to the Mr. R show with Mr. R himself. Are you ready? Are you willing? Are you able? Because if you are, there's going to be a veil dropped so you can see the wonderment of wonder and the amazement of amazement. Look unto the crow, look unto the raven, and that raven, that's what Noah sent out to see if anything was there, and it came back. But then he sent a dove, and the raven never came back. But then the dove went from Noah's hand, and it came back with an olive in his mouth. So enough with those guys. Fooey on those guys. He was bad. He didn't come back. That wasn't even nice. That wasn't Christian, or that wasn't Islamic, or that wasn't even nice. And so the truth is this, guys, that there is no good person, not even one. And I'm here to tell you the story, continuing story about how it really was at the beginning, because I'm the guy that's supposed to restore all things, Matthew 24:22, about the snake of Eden who's been removed in the latter days of Daniel 12:1. It says so. And so it's time to get ahead with a new program. Don't got to worry about demons left behind, because they don't got a leader. When you strike the leader, the flock gathers and runs away scared. Cowards are they? And love always wins anyways. So it's time not even to worry, kids, about World War III. Before I start the program, I just want you to tell you that it's time to start loving everybody in your family with all your heart. Love isn't even love unless it's loyal and dedicated and faithful and merciful and forgiving, because love is forgiveness. Forgiveness is love. And we got to beat our sword into the sickle to learn the ways of war no more, which just means changing our conditional love, which has never been love at all, into divine love, which is unconditional love. Jesus says that unless we become like you kids, we can't even go to heaven. So right now, if you was bad, you still pretty good, because Jesus say. And if Jesus say, that's good enough for me, because he loves the little children, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, all are most precious in his sight. And God makes no garbage. We are all created to be beings of love, but we've had a love problem. The ignorance of love has been manifest upon earth, and people, all the little kids, you got to understand that we didn't understand some things, but now it's time for the restoration of all things, or else Jesus can't even come back. Acts 3 say so. So I am Mr. R. So it's time to celebrate, because if we celebrate, we will see everything anew. And then it's like there's an electric force that will just sweep us into a new reality. And it'll be mesmerizing for us and hypnotizing. And what's going to hypnotize us is love alone, because that is the desire, kids, of everyone, to shine brightly. And if we will shine brightly, then something wondrous happens. With a click, we become as a rainbow. And as a rainbow, we hold much beauty as we shine in the darkness. So it's time to get along in the sandbox. And so in this hour of love's greatest power, our Lord Jesus, he's calling everyone with by our very own names. And it's time to know that, just as the book of Job has said in Job 28, far from where anyone lives and far from human feet, wherever human feet have traveled, far away from that, where no man has ever gone much before, people have been digging in the shafts of mines way down deep in the earth, and they've been working in loneliness, and they've been clinging onto ropes in the pits. And there are mines where silver is dug, and there are places where gold is refined. People have been digging out of the ground and melting copper out of the stones. Men and people have been exploring the deepest darkness, and we've been searching the deepest depths of the earth while digging for rocks in the darkness, ones that might glimmer like diamond. And food grows out of the earth too, but underneath the same earth, everything's all torn up and crushed. And the stones of earth, they contain and hold lots of sapphires and rubies and emeralds, and the dust contains gold. But I'm going to tell you, the real treasure of excellence is Jesus. He's the priceless pearl of great reward, and he has a rainbow promise for us. In every color of the rainbow will he send our way. And so it's time to realize that all these stones have contained treasures of amethyst and beryl and citron and opal. But he wants us to stand on the rock of ages. And if we stand on the rock of ages, old rockhounds never die. They just slowly petrify with his love as it becomes fervent and passionate. God doesn't want no one that's not passionate about love. Love is the best thing we have. And know that as all this is happening, no hawk gliding on down, no eagle at all sees the roads down to the mines, and no vulture ever flies over those roads because people are protected around there. But once they go down into the mine where it gets deep, there's not much protection if you don't know where you're going, and the light is pretty bad down there. And there's no lion or no other fierce beast at all that ever has traveled such lonely roads of the deepest mines in the world. And people have dug the hardest rocks looking for diamonds that glitter and the jewels on the crowns. Many people died to make those crowns, and in vain did they die. And so know that people have dug without any other reason except for to get money, and money is not everything. So many people have lost their lives because of money, and so money is the root of all evil. And so they dug deeply into the sources of the rivers, and they brought to light what was hidden. And the value of wisdom, though, is much more valuable than any coral, crystal, or rubies, and much greater value than even the finest topaz or even the purest gold that is see-through. And the wisdom of the ages has been mightily confused when it comes to some really weird things, kids, that have been found way down deep in the deepest depths of the earth. And there was a real startling find made in 1889. Can you believe it? That far back, 1889. Many years back. It happened in a place called Nampa, Idaho. While some workers, while they were boring and drilling this really deep well, a small ancient clay figurine, and it looked like a child's toy. They discovered it was way deep, way deep. It was 320 feet deep. That is pretty darn deep. You figure, say we were 10 feet tall, all of us, then that would take 32 people standing on their shoulders, one upon another, to get 32 people and none of us are 10 feet. So I don't know, maybe that's 50 people standing on their shoulders to get all the way down. So that's pretty darn deep, 50 people standing on their shoulders. But the problem was that the rocks that were far down, they're only dated to methods wrongly by science. It's all estimation. They estimated, well, this is here, so it must be this old, and it's just never been true. So because I'm Mr. R, I'm telling you like it is R. Don't let no one steal your treasure, because your treasure of excellence is knowing that Adam and Eve had no belly button, children. No belly button. How could they? They was born adults. And this earth was made with great, very great age. The earth is ancient. On day one, it was made old with very great age. That's part of the mystery of God, or Revelation 10:7, that God said would be over in the latter days. And so it happened that they found that deep. And, it's almost kids like, I guess, time travel is the only logical answer to something. How could get something so down deep? Scientists don't even want to think about it. But the reason it is because of the flood that came to rid the planet of the giants and the monsters that were eating us. We were getting it from both ends. The giant cannibal guys, the Nephilim of Genesis 6, they was eating us. Read the book Gilgamesh. It's translated from ancient hieroglyphic Sumerian cuneiform, it's called. That's the oldest book on the earth, and it tells how all the cannibals, they would boil us in big pots, and they would cook us, and they would eat us, and they would use our ribs for their teeth to like a toothpick. So that wasn't very nice. And Marco Polo, if you look at my video about 15 videos down, you got my video on Marco Polo, his eyewitness description of a T-Rex, eyes as big as a shield, mouth big enough to eat a lion or a tiger in one bite, and a man. But it seems like we can only go back in time to figure out something like that if it wasn't the flood. But it was the flood. The Lord told me. And I can't say I know all, but I know a lot of all, because nobody has monopoly on wisdom. But I got the wisdom to know that our God is much deeper. His love, no one has discerned how deep his love is. It's much deeper than deep ever was, because it's a loyal, faithful, devoted love to everyone. He say unto all children, he says, you are so special. And the Lord Jesus, he say, I am your God. I am the good shepherd over all my flocks of my little lambs, of all people over the world. And for that reason, he's now wanting to pour out his spirit of love upon all of his little lambs. And he's doing that. He's telling you to love your parents, because we're coming in for very dangerous and dark times. Only lots of death is ahead of us, unless people will listen to me and start beating their sword into the sickle. Broad is the way to hell, paved by conditional love, where we rationalize, justify, turn our love on and off. Every day reconfirm in our minds why it's okay not to love, not to forgive, not to be merciful, not to smile, why it's okay not to be kind. And so we're killing ourselves by love that's not even love. It's just a veneer, a knockoff of the real thing, which is loyal and faithful and devoted. So children, it's time to know that there's been some very weird things happening in this world. So until next time, come on back now. I'm going to tell you some really neat stories, because it's story time at Mr. R's channel more than ever. Bye now. Love you all. Ciao, ciao. Tell all your kids in school about me too, because I'm going to teach all the mysteries of the universe right here at this channel. And this is now a kids channel for the most part. I'm still going to be making lots of regular adults too, but Mr. R is here to stay. I'm probably going to get Mr. R in neon light, and I'll put it on my wall, because that is who I am, whether I'm a dinosaur guy or whether I'm a pirate guy. And I'm a pretty good pirate, because I'm pointing everybody to the treasure of excellence. The excellence of treasure is the priceless pearl, a great reward. And my job is to make sure that everybody sees him as the desire of all nations. And he really is, because his secret name is love. And every knee gonna bow down to the name of love. Every tongue is gonna confess love. That's who Jesus is. Is he living in your heart? If he's not, don't worry about it. If you've been going 2 steps forward, 1 step back, you're still going to go in the right direction. He don't condemn you if you're trying, but don't stop trying, because then we would be cast into outer darkness where they're weeping and gnashing of teeth, and that don't sound like no fun. I don't want to do that, but you're going to be okay. Just keep loving people, because if we can't love God, if we can't love people we can't see, we can't love God we can't see. That's absolutely true. So I love you all, and good night from Mr. R. R. Are you being good? R.